Jamie and welcome to my cross stitching channel or welcome back. It has been a really long time. This video will probably be a little bit rough. I haven't filmed since February of last year, so it's been a minute for sure. At the end, because I know not everybody loves life updates, I will go over a little bit of what happened during the year that kind of threw everything off course, but I am back. Today I am going to be filming a WIP parade and just kind of going over what I was able to get done last year. And then yeah, so a little bit of an update. I don't really have any plans, but again, we'll kind of go over that towards the end. So thank you everybody who stuck around all last year waiting for me to post and checking in on me. I truly, really appreciate that. That was very sweet of you all. I am doing fine. It's been a really crazy year. So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I have 3 finishes that I was able to get done last year. And then I have 9 WIPs, one of which was a new start at the beginning of last year. So if you watched my last video, you will have seen that new start, but otherwise I haven't started anything else either. So, which is kind of unusual for me, but life, you know. So we're gonna go over my finishes first. The first one I got done was Old Fashioned, which is a Shannon Christine design. I stitched mine, it's been so long, on an 18 count black fabric, 2/1 full crosses, and then there's back stitching. And this one I deleted, so I had it in Pattern Keeper and then I deleted the file without actually counting the rest of the stitches. I think I put in somewhere around 3,000 to finish it off. So it needs a back to it. Let's see if I can make this work here. So this is the finish. I absolutely love how this turned out. It was so much fun to stitch. Back stitching did get a little bit much after a while, but I think the detail was worth it. I will mention that here where it says serve daily in this little banner, I did have to use 2 strands instead of 1 that the pattern called for, because it was really hard to see the white floss in there. But otherwise, as called for with the DMC. And yeah, that was my first finish. I believe I finished this one pretty early into the year. I think it was like end of February, beginning of March, something like that. So it's been done for a while. But that was my first finish. Definitely want to stitch some more of Shannon Christine designs. I just haven't gotten there yet. All right. I have a kind of precarious situation going on here, so I've got to rearrange some things real quick. Okay. And then the second finish I got was Aworth Quaker, which is an Etsy pattern by Vivsters, I believe it is. I put in an additional 12,990 stitches for the finish. And this was a round robin piece that I was doing with 5 of my friends. So we split up the pattern into 6 parts, and from not this last October, but the October before during Stitch West, just after Stitch West, we decided to do that, started passing them on to each other. So we started with part 1, passed it on, and we got to stitch on each other's patterns, all of them. So it was really fun, but it is done now. And I'm just going to show you mine because I kept forgetting to take pictures as I finished other people's parts. So this one is mine all done, and this is huge, so I am very sorry. It's going to be a little bit difficult to get in frame. But I believe this one was stitched on... Oh no, I've forgotten it. Yeah, I forgot the color name. It's a picture of this plus color, but I don't remember what it's called. And I stitched it with a brown and a teal floss. I'll put up on the screen or in the description if you want to know what I used, because it's it's not in my brain anymore. This is how it turned out. I'll do a little bit of a close-up on each side. I am so happy with how this came together. The only instruction I gave to my friends was use these two colors and place them as you think they should be. And I think they did an excellent job. Still don't know quite what I'm gonna do with this one because it's so big. But it is done. So that was a big finish. For now, we are not starting anything else because that was a lot. But maybe sometime in the future. All right, and then finish number 3, which was the biggest finish, for an additional 25,073 stitches, give or take a little. I did switch one of the motifs and my initials obviously added some stitches, so somewhere around 25,000 to finish this off. This is Fruits of Plenty, which is the 2021 sal from Modern Folk Embroidery. I stitched mine on an 18 count white Aida with DMC colors 820 and 321, which is a red and a blue. This is going to be a little bit difficult to show. I forgot to cut off the extra fabric. I was just so excited to get it done. So this is it all finished. Again, a huge project, so it's difficult to get in frame here. That is it. I finished this. I'm trying to remember how long ago. I think it was end of November, maybe middle of November. Maybe it even, I don't think it got to December. I think I got it done sometime in November. But it is all done and it looks so good. Wish you all could see the colors in person. It always looks better in person. Holy cow, 25,000 stitches, man. Those red bands are something else. Seem to just go on forever. So I'll bring it in a little bit so you can see it better. If any of you are considering doing this sal, I highly encourage you to do so. I found it very fun and it's a beautiful result. This is actually was my husband's favorite piece, other than the one that I'm deliberately doing for him. But so the motif I was talking about was this. He gives, Jacob, the designer, gives you like 6 or 7 other houses, maybe 8 total that you can pick from. I asked my husband which one he wanted in the middle. He picked the windmill, and then obviously mine and my husband's initials are the same. So put those in. But yeah, these red bands, these are so stitch heavy. So that is it. Finished it in 2024. Just super exciting. That was the one that I really was like, I have to get this one done this year. Luckily, I got enough of a break that I was able to get it done. So that is my 3rd and final finish. Pretty doubtful I'm going to get a finish this year, but at least I got some last year. All right. So those are all my finishes. And now we can go through, so I have 8 WIPs that I brought into 2024. And then like I said earlier, I have 1 new start that was right at the beginning of last year. Apologies. I am not sick anymore, but I still get a little tickle in my throat. So I'm trying to keep my throat a little bit hydrated, so I don't end up coughing. So I do have 1 start. I have a load of other patterns. I could have started something else, but it's just with all the stuff that was going on, I didn't even really have a desire to start anything else either. So just stuck with mostly what I had and started 1 new one. So let's get started on the ones I brought into 2024. The first one is Tarot Town 2, which is a design by Ciro Marchetti, charted by Evident Art Design. Sorry, it's been a minute. I'm stitching mine on a 25 count DMC Magic Guide fabric, 1/1 full cross. Let's see if, so I'm going to do the before picture now because it's getting rather large. So that is where I started at the beginning of last year. And this is where we are at now. And I apologize, there will be no aesthetically pleasing pieces of fabric in this video because I have yet to iron and stuff. So apologies for wrinkles. A lot of these were in Q-snaps or folded up, but this is where we are at. I have added 6,237 stitches. So about 10,000 stitches less than the year before, but still got some progress. The lion's share was definitely, come on fabric, work with me here. Was definitely right here in this page. I finished this page right here. Try to see if I can find a comparison photo, but this page is where I worked mostly, and then I came up over here and I filled in a bunch of the stuff up here. I was gonna, I think another page ends like here, so I was gonna try to finish off this corner. I just got really bogged down with like all of the confetti and these flags and the balloon and stuff. And this wall, oh boy, that wall is just full of confetti. So I did most of my work here. And then I got burnt out with all the confetti and decided, because I was starting to contemplate UFOing this project and I really didn't want to, my husband told me not to make any rash decisions. I came over here and I just started filling in more of the blocky stitching over here. So I think this helped alleviate the overwhelm I was feeling a little bit. So, but got a little bit over there. I think I only did like, I don't know, 500 stitches-ish over there. So, but just over 6,200 this year, or last year. It's the first, Jamie. I'm going to be doing that all video. I apologize in advance. So that was WIP number 1. WIP number 2 is Beloved, and I am trying to go in chronological order here. I may be out of order on some of these because I have done like restarts and things, so apologies if, not that you guys would know, but I may be out of order, but I'm trying to go as close to my memory as possible. So the second one was Beloved. And this is another Heaven and Earth Designs chart. The artwork is Adele Sessler, and I'm stitching mine on a 28 count. I think it's Lugana. It's just a 28 count Lugana 1/1 full cross. And this is where we are at. So there is more this way. There's a little bit more this way, but this is the only place I worked last time, or during the year. I only put in 1,363 stitches. I did preface this at the beginning of the year that this was not likely to be one that got worked on very much. And I actually put in all of these stitches, I think, during the last like 3 weeks. So it wasn't touched until December. But I definitely got a lot of this filled in, which is cool to see all those tattoos for me. And then this is the top of the woman's head, which I'm super excited about. So that is Beloved. Not a lot of progress, but some, so every stitch counts, right? Okay, WIP number 3 is Mini Loyalty, yet another Heaven and Earth Designs chart. The artist for this one is Cherie Gerhardt. And if you're not aware of these minis that I bought 4, and this is the one they're based on Harry Potter houses. This one is based on the Hufflepuff house. I put in 5,892 stitches on this one. And this is where we're at now. Again, there's more this way, there's a little bit more this way. But all I worked on was like up around here and this way. So that should be enough to show the progress. I was trying not to pull things out of Q-snaps if I didn't need to. So that is Mini Loyalty. Still enjoying this one. It's like a mental struggle to pick it up. But then when I pick it up, I really enjoy it. And then I want to come back to it. And then I put it down. And then it's a struggle to pick it back up again. Not really sure what my deal is. I did say at the beginning of the year I was going to go extreme cross country. I quickly abandoned that because I get bored. I have enough monochromatic pieces that full coverage is kind of my reprieve from that. So I did not do extreme cross country, as you can see. Did a lot like in the the fur here. I think I finished off the filigree. I think I finished this stripe, got this stripe all the way down, started and got about halfway through that one and added this. So several stripes were put in. Did a little, I mean, kind of looks like a lot here around the badger. So I'm now up to over 30% done with this piece, which is pretty cool. This is one that so part of my life update, I'm currently in school and I should graduate at the end of the year. So my thought was that for next year, where I'll finally have a lot more free time, I might try and see this one to a finish in 2026. So we'll see. Because if I can get another like 5,000 or 6,000 stitches, that'll push me even closer. And then I think even just like a small amount, like 75 stitches a day would probably do it. So just thinking ahead. We'll see how this year goes. All right. So nope, I have one more full coverage. So I have 4 full coverages out right now. I did UFO some of them at the beginning of the year or last year. So those are the ones so far, except for one that I worked on. The next WIP is Winter Sampler, which is a design by Kooler Design Studio. Or I think the artist is Sandy Orton, and it was charted by Kooler Design Studio. I'm not sure if they're the same people, but anyway. So I put in 3,729 stitches on this one. I did not do any back stitching, and that stitch count is sort of right, sort of not, because there's half stitches, there's quarter stitches, so they were marked off in Pattern Keeper as full stitches, but they're not really. So it could be less, more like 3,500 or something like that, but still quite a bit of progress. I'm up over 50% now. Actually, almost 54% done. So this is where we're at now. So I have done quite a bit of work since the beginning of the year. Let you see the whole thing, and then I'll bring it in a little bit for the details that I put in. I absolutely adore this one. Every time my husband likes it, but it's very like 90s-esque, like nostalgic kind of cross stitching. But that's why I love it, is because this reminds me so much of like my childhood, like crafting that would be in people's houses. So I just really enjoy it. So that's the whole thing. So I started at the beginning of the year, which if you saw my February video, you'll have seen this part already. So I did this part because this is broken up into like New Year's, Valentine's Day, and then the whole bottom is Christmas. So I finished off, scoot in a little bit. So I finished off this part, which was for New Year's. Super cute, these little mice, their little party hats on. Again, I didn't do any back stitching. I had every intention of doing some, and I didn't do any. So that one was done in February, or at the beginning of February when I did my first video. And then came over and did this one for Valentine's Day. Yes, her face looks kind of disturbing. All the faces in this one really are kind of creepy until you put the back stitching in. So I'm hoping it'll be a little less so when I do that. But I got this whole motif with the heart frame and the little girl with the letter. Thought it turned out super cute. Then I did like a little bit of border just to place it. And then the last thing I did was worked down here during the Christmas season, like Thanksgiving, Christmas. I came in and worked on this part. And I have finished this whole frame here with the snowman, the broom, all of the snow around him. So that whole frame is filled in now. And Holy Partial Stitches Batman up here around like the hat and in his face and the scarf and stuff. It's a lot. Oh, and I did finish this big bunch of mistletoe, I believe is right here. So I finished that off. Filled in all of the snowman and the broom. And then I did fill this in a little bit more. I didn't do much in the Santa Claus frame. But I think I like did some more colors in like the toy bag on his back, and then filled in a little bit of red in his coat, robe, whatever he's wearing. So I really like how that's turning out. Like I said, I'm almost 54% done. So it's definitely getting there. If I were to pick a finish, it would be this one. I would prefer to get this one done this year, at least the stitching part, but again, we'll see. Unlikely. Okay, so that was number 4. The 5th WIP is the Crowned Heart, another modern folk embroidery piece. And part of the reason I was pushing so hard to get a finish on the Fruits of Plenty Sal is because I don't like having more than one, like a charting company, yes, but I don't like having more than one like design from a specific artist or designer at a time. I don't feel like the full coverage necessarily counts because they're different artists, but anyway, long story short, this is the Crowned Heart by Modern Folk Embroidery, which I started as a wedding sampler for me and my husband. We've been married for, oh geez, 2 years and 3 months now, I think. Something like that. Our 2-year anniversary was in September. So I am stitching this on I believe it's 18 count woodland. If it's different, I'll fix it on the screen. But it's another picture of this puzz fabric, 2/1 full cross, and I believe the DMC color is 564. Again, I will correct myself if that's wrong. I got 1,940 stitches, and this is where we are now. I jumped almost 8%, which is pretty cool. Yeah, absolutely love this. It looks so pretty. It feels like it's pretty repetitive, like it's this the whole way down, the whole way across. It's this same pattern over and over and over again. But every time I finish another motif, I'm just like, oh, it's so pretty. So I don't get tired of looking at it. So that is the Crowned Heart. I love this fabric too. Green is my favorite color. So it's always fun to work on that one. All right, number 6 is Legend of Zelda. This is my last full coverage that I have out active right now. And this is a pattern I got off of Etsy. I usually put down in the description like what store or where I got it. So if you want to get it for yourself, the link should be down there. This one again did not get very, well, not again, but one of the ones that did not get very much work. And it was in the last few weeks that I finally picked it up. So I got 1,406 stitches, and this is stitched on a 28 count easy count fabric, 1/1 full cross. It was 10 stitch. I have switched it to full cross. I've just noticed that that's the way I prefer to stitch. So this is going to be an up and down comparison here. But again, just over 1,400 stitches. I think his face was part of that. And then I did a lot of like this black outline in the circle there at the top. Didn't get too much done this year or last year. So it is still fun to work on. I do enjoy it. And actually, since I switched back to full cross, I enjoy it a lot more, but it just kind of gets put to the side because I've been trying to get progress on other older things. So all right, WIP number 7 is Twisted Rainbow Sampler by Northern Expressions Needlework. So originally I had been given this pattern as like part of a giveaway off of one of my friend's channels. If you've watched Ashley from Yaw Stitch, I don't think he's posted in a minute, but he bought this pattern for me. I initially asked for the cross stitch only version, which I thought is what I wanted. I didn't like it. I stitched the first 2 bands and then half of the third one, and I was just like, I I just don't like it as much with the cross stitch. I really miss the specialty stitches because I did the companion piece, twisted band sampler, I think is what it's called, on white fabric, and now I'm doing the twisted rainbow on black, and I just really miss the specialty stitches. So I bought the specialty stitch pattern and I ripped out the second band and replaced it with specialty stitches, and now I'm doing that one. So it says I've added 587 stitches. I guess it's sort of accurate, but specialty stitches, I don't count those at all. So take that for what you will. I'm stitching this on a 32 count black Lugana 2/2 cross stitch, and then whatever, obviously the stitches, but just with one strand for specialty. So this is where we are at on this project. I just love the way it looks with the specialty stitches. I just like it better. So I have finished 2 full bands and half of the third one. If I make any goals, which again is not likely, I might try to get half a band on this a month, but we'll see. I'm really kind of just staying away from goals this year. I always have things that kind of pop up in my head and I'm like, ooh, that would be a good goal, but I just know myself well enough with what's coming up that it's probably not going to happen. But I do really love all of the progress I've gotten on that so far. This first specialty stitches, I think it was just rice stitch and diamond eyelets. So pretty easy. And luckily this band was exactly the same size as the cross stitch band, so fit right in there. So that is my twisted rainbow sampler. Oh, coughing good. I'm not sick. I don't like, all of my symptoms are gone. I just get these like weird tickles in my throat. I don't know what's going on. Okay. So, Flosstube itchy nose. That is the rainbow sampler. And then WIP number 8 is Lady of the Mist. I'll have to insert a picture. I forgot to bring the little leaflet thing in with me. This is a Mirabilia pattern designed by Nora Corbett, and I am stitching mine on a 32 count Picture This Plus Sprite, I believe is the name. 2/2 with all the called for floss, fancy floss, metallics, beads. Actually, I don't think this one has metallics in it. It just has some variegated floss. And this one is probably the worst with the wrinkles and stuff, so I apologize for that. I don't really have any stats on this because I don't keep track of paper patterns, but there has been a little bit of progress, not much, but some. So this is where we're at from last time. And she does look a little, she looks a little freaky at the moment because there's no backstitch in her face yet. I literally pulled this out for the first time in months last night. So I think at the beginning of the year, I had literally this teeny tiny leaf over here. So I went all the way across the top, counted over to the top of her head so I could go kind of back and forth between her head and the plants so I wasn't stuck in the plants forever. And yes, I counted like 10 times before I was confident I had the right spot. But this one is super fun to work on when I actually pull it out. Although paper patterns and I are no longer good friends. I use Pattern Keeper for basically everything. So hoping to get at least a little bit more work on her this year. Might not be much, but I'd like to get some. Maybe try to get to the top of her dress, some more of the greenery around the edges. All right, so that is all, those are all of the WIPs I brought into 2024. And then the one new start I had last year was One Ring to Rule Them All, which is an Etsy design. I think that you pronounce it Teajeigh Designs. I don't know, but the link will be down in the description if you want to go look for it. I'm stitching mine on an 18 count Aida in the color Phoenix, I believe, by Bestitch Me. If that's wrong, I'll fix it here, but pretty sure it's called Phoenix by Bestitch Me. 2/1 full crosses with, I don't know how that, I think with the étoile, the DMC étoile, but I think there's a letter in front of the number that's normally the regular DMC, so it's a 310 of the étoile. I don't remember exactly what it says. That's what I'm using, so it's sparkly. Not super sparkly, but some. And I put in 2,674 stitches this last year. I might have to scooch back a little bit. So I started in the middle, and then I got tired of doing, I wanted to get up to the top, so because there's a border and stuff around it, I prefer going top down. So I did move my way up to the top. So this is where we're at right now, and this is probably going to get washed out a little bit. That is more true to color back here. But this is where we got to. So I believe I started on the line where it says on his dark throne, and then I went down a little bit, and then I was like, you know what, I want to go to the top. So worked my way back up to the top. This is the top left corner of the pattern, so I can start doing some of the border. But I love this one so much. The pattern is great. It's really easy. The floss, I actually, my friends helped me realize that I was using a needle that was too small. So it makes it a lot better when I did a size up. So the floss has been decent to work with. Pattern is great. The fabric is obviously beautiful. It's fun to look at while I'm working on it. So just all around awesome project to work on. Definitely would like to get a few lines of words in this year. But again, we'll see. So that is my last project. I am not one of those people with like 50, 100, 200 projects. It's just, that's not my style. No shade to those who are. I admire you. But especially with all the crap that's been going on in the last year, I was like, let's stay away from starting a bunch of stuff. So so the total stitch count that I calculated from Pattern Keeper, so this does not include the specialty stitches on the Twisted Rainbow sampler or the Lady of the Mist. So I got 64,891 stitches, so probably could round up to 65,000 with all those other stitches that I didn't count. So not the best year I've ever had, but definitely not the worst either. I think last year I calculated somewhere between 90,000 and 100,000. So definitely taken a hit, but I mean, 65,000 is nothing to sneeze at. So I'm happy with that. So if you are here just for the WIP parade, that will be it for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Consider liking and subscribing the video liking the video, subscribing to the channel if you liked what you saw. This will be what you see pretty much all year. I am planning to upload at least every month. I probably will not be able to do more than that, but my plan is to start uploading more regularly at the first of every month. So if you would like to see more of my projects, feel free to come back and hit the bell so you know when my next video comes out. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time. For anybody else who wants to stay for a little bit, so again, as I was kind of mentioning through the WIP parade, I do not have plans this year. I really don't. I don't have things I want to finish. I don't have goals I want to meet. I don't have any set plans whatsoever. It's just, it was too hard last year. Everything went out the window. I met some of my finishes. I got 3 out of the 4 finishes I wanted, but other than that, I didn't keep up on anything else. So just really trying to keep it loosey-goosey this year and really flexible and very forgiving. So no plans. I will say that I have been using a tiny decision wheel. If you have Apple, that's an app you can download on there. I put all my WIPs on it, and because I've just been kind of having trouble deciding what to work on. I will spin the wheel, and if it's a full coverage, I do 500 stitches and then move on, or I do 250 if it's not full coverage and then move on. Or for like my twisted band sampler, rainbow sampler, I'm more inclined to like do half a band then move on, or for my Lady of the Mist, I'll do like 2 days and then move on. So I'll adjust it if it's not easy to do like a set amount of stitches. So that's what I've been doing the last few weeks, and it's been working pretty well. So I'll probably keep doing that just so I keep like getting all of my projects in my hands to be worked on. I found it really overwhelming in the midst of all the stuff that was happening last year to like use my brain power for one more decision. So I'm just trying to take that off my plate. So I'll probably keep doing that. Otherwise, there are 0 plans for 2025. It's to stitch what I want when I want with the wheel if I decide to keep using it, or it might just be whatever my brain can handle at the time. So those are my plans, or lack thereof. And then as for my life stuff for last year, so I came in strong in January, thinking that I got like 10,000 stitches during the month of January. I was like, this is going to be great. It's going to be great. And then I signed up for a program through my work who pays for education. I decided to go back and get my bachelor's degree in accounting and finance. So I signed up for that. And when I was supposed to do my next video at the beginning of March, that's when all my classes started, and I was getting everything together for that. So I didn't do my update at the beginning of March like I wanted to, and then it just kept more time passed, and I just kept feeling like it was pointless because I hadn't worked on anything either to do an update. So it just kind of compounded, and I never came back for the rest of the year. So I started school in March. That took up a lot more time than I was expecting. So for the first, and it was a block set of classes, not a semester, which is like half the time. So for the first like 7 weeks was the second block of that semester. So that 7 weeks was like jam-packed full with school. Then after that ended in June, my daughter moved back in with me. I have a 17-year-old daughter. She moved back in with me in June, at the very beginning of June. So I went from school, and then my daughter moved in, and then I dropped some classes, but I still had work in school during, so I work full-time as well. So work, school, then my daughter moves in with me again. Then I have more work, school during the summertime, and then the fall semester came, and I had 3 semester-long accounting classes. That was just a lot. So I had those classes, and then I had to get like my daughter enrolled back in school and everything. And then we got a second dog. We had a Newfoundland poodle mix. We added in a basset hound. His name is Baxter. If I have a good picture, I'll put one in. So we got a second dog. We moved at the end of July from our previous apartment to our townhome we live in now. So you'll notice probably that the background looks a little bit different from last time. Yeah, so we moved, got a second dog, all around the same time. And then I was sick twice last year. So that kind of took me out for a little while too. Yeah. It's been a lot. There's just a lot. And then I did manage though to go to Stitch West in October last year, which was a lot of fun. I got this shirt from there. It's a sweater. It says Eat, Sleep, Cross Stitch, from my friend Jen at What Are You Doing Studio. I bought that. Did get a little bit of haul, got some like goodies and stuff from people that like come around to the tables, but just all around just had a really good fun experience during that time. But yeah, it's between work and school and my daughter moving back and the new dog and getting sick a couple of times, and it's just definitely took a toll on my cross stitching for sure. So I am fine. Everything's good. It's good changes. It's, things are moving in the right direction, but it's just, sometimes life is just too much for you to get your hobbies in there as much as you would like. So I'm hoping now that I have a better handle on school and that my daughter's kind of settled and our dog is settled and stuff, that it won't be as difficult to get some stitching in, but we will see. So, but as I said, one of my goals for this year is to continue to come back at least at the beginning of every month for an update, because I really missed it and I really missed interacting with you guys and I hated being out for so long. So if all goes well, I do start school again January 13th. So I'm hoping that the first part of February I will be back with an update. It might not be a whole lot, but it should be something. So, and I hope you guys will come back and spend some time with me, even if it's not much. So I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season. I hope you all have a wonderful 2025 year, and I will see you next time. Bye.